You deserve better, girl. You should let me love you. What is, Ashley, Ashley, you are new. This is my favorite drink ever. I get this from Dunkin' Donuts. It's a strawberry refresher, but I get it with water. So you can get it with, it's normally made with green tea. I think that's the regular way, or lemonade, but I get it with water. Hi, Tiff. Hi, Jenny. So I don't like green tea in it. And what's so funny about this drink is that now they make it with water. Like, that's a regular order. And I used to have to request it all the time. And I think because I requested it so many times that I say it's because of me. I think I manifested this drink, honestly, to be made with water. Because now it's a regular thing on the menu. Hi, Miranda. Hi, Tiff. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Minna. Hi, Bitta. Ashley inspired me today because Ashley was asking. Ashley inspired me today because Ashley was asking about lazy manifesting, and I've gotten this question many times. And I like when she posted that on Facebook. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, how about we make this TikTok? We post it on YouTube. Let me turn this down. Sorry, guys. And we'll post this one on YouTube because I'll get into some topics that people ask. And this is definitely one of them. And, you know, it's funny because, hi, Cece. I mostly want, it's so good, Ashley. And it's very sweet, but I like a lot of ice in it. And what's even better about this drink is that when you put it in the freezer, and it's just like this ice, it's icy, it's so good. It's so good. Hi, Cece. So basically, what's funny about, I mostly want to hear other people and what their opinion is on it, because I can only tell you through my experience. As I created it, I was listening to it over and over again because I learned a lot of my stuff. Actually, not learned, but what helped me was Abraham Hicks and listening to her as I was living my everyday life. Okay, so it's more so about maintaining that good energy. But my stuff just has a lot of knowledge and like what this experience is. So it's helping you become more present and live in the present moment, because that's what a lot of my stuff is. It helps you move through your circumstances too. So that's a lot of Lazy Manifesting 1. I guess I'm getting right into it. That's a lot of Lazy Manifesting 1. The first part of it is just when you're still heavy in some of your circumstances, like your old stories are playing out and you're still reactive to them. You're still triggered by them. So it just helps you in those moments when you start to feel that fear again, right? To relax your body, to remind you to relax your body, to remind you you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Lazy Manifesting 2, it's more about just maintaining that alignment when you fall out of alignment. But at that point, you're not really reactive anymore. Most of your programs have faded out. So it's not a job. Lazy Manifesting, guys, it's not a job. It's not work. There's nothing you're doing in Lazy Manifesting. It's just you're listening to it over and over and over again. And what I like to say about it is that you basically listen, because there's so many audios in Lazy Manifesting. You listen to them until you're like, I'm bored with that. Because that's how I started. That's what I realized was happening. I would listen to an Abraham segment over and over and over again until I was like, I'm bored with this. And then I would move to one of our other videos. And that's what Lazy Manifesting is. It's, you listen to it, it feels good for a while, and you're like, oh, I'm bored with that. Like, I don't want to listen to that anymore. There's so much material. That's why Lazy Manifesting is what it is. There's just it's unlimited. It's unlimited because I add free stuff to it. So Lazy Manifest, this is why I'm selling it as a bundle now, because when you get Lazy Manifesting 2, that's where your free updates are going to go, Ashley, and anyone who's gotten it recently. You're going to get free updates, so keep that original file. I can't fit no more in Lazy Manifesting 1, and you see how big it is, right? You see it. It's huge, and I can't fit no more updates in it. So now everything's got to go to Lazy Manifesting 2. So I usually tell people, if you're still very reactive, if you're still triggered by a lot of stuff, start with Lazy Manifesting 1, okay? That's how you know where to start. It's based off how you're reacting to life still, okay? So if you're still very reactive, if you're still feeling like a victim, this is all normal, just so you know at first. Feeling like a victim, feeling like nothing's going your way, start with Lazy Manifesting 1. And then you'll work your way to, it's very obvious. It's very obvious where you are is where you are, right? But you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're going to realize that with this stuff. So I really wanted, hi Albina, I really wanted to make this this live specific in regards to certain topics that people bring up to me a lot, and Lazy Manifesting is definitely one of them. And you know, hear other people, so many people have it, like Cece has it, Christine has it, I know Kim has it, so many of you guys have it, and you guys can just say, I guess, how you listen to it. But again, just know, Ash and everyone else, that everybody is at a different place in this, right? That's the point, right? So it's all based off how you feel. That's what my practices are about. It's not about doing anything to get anything. That's not what we're doing here, because everything you want's done. Manifestations are done. So you have to, and this is where your inner guidance is going to start to kick in and strengthen. You're never doing anything to manifest. When you find yourself doing things to manifest, that's not your inner guidance. That is a program that you're still running on. You're still thinking you need to do things to get things. My practices get you to a place of wholeness and knowing that you are whole and complete right now in this moment. And all those manifestations are just fun experiences you're having. That's it. So, and it's very natural. As you start to move towards them, it's natural. Like an example for me is, today I was thinking about something positive in regards to like what I'm moving towards, and I didn't even realize it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting here planning my future, right? Because it's natural now. I'm in a good energy all the time. So this is normal. Manifestation is a part of, it's a natural process. But because people became aware that they manifest now, that their thoughts create their reality, they started to get into all these techniques that people have taught over time. Like when Neville discovered this, he wrote books about it, and then people take it into their hands, they practice it, and then they teach it. But it's making it complicated because this is naturally who you are. You've always been manifesting, okay? We are so whole and worthy. Gosh. When we understand that, right, Madeline? Yes, Madeline says we are so whole and worthy. Gosh, when we understand that, it's so beautiful. And that's what these practices help you do. So I'm not saying these techniques are wrong. They get you what you want. But you're making it too hard by thinking that you have to do something to get something, is what my message is. I'm trying to get this message across to people. I don't mean no harm to anybody that teaches this, but they're making it too complicated, and it's not their fault, because it's actually you create your own reality. So the more that you entertain these types of things, you're just going to keep on finding it in your experience, all these people teaching it, and you're going to keep thinking that you have to do things to get things. I got to visualize this scene over and over again to get things. I got to affirm over and over and just feel that. Does that feel good? It shouldn't be that hard. So all you have to know is that you can have whatever you want. You can have anything you want at all. Guys, we all have access to the same unlimited possibilities. The answer is yes to anything and everything that you want. I mean this. From there, though, you got to make the best of your current reality. And this is where we get out of alignment, because we're still trying to find the next best special technique, secret that's being held from us, and nothing is being held from you. You are perfect just the way you are. Everything else is just an added fun experience that you're having here as a human, that you chose to have. It's really simplistic, and what's going to help it become more simple to understand is when you stop researching completely. Now, it doesn't mean you're never going to go back on social media, but you're going to be a different person on social media. okay? So when I go on there now, it's all perfectly meant for me and in alignment with me. I don't question the message. I look at it and then I move on with my day. I don't really scroll too much anymore, but you got to take the breaks from social media because everything's a reflection of you, even your social media. So if you're just constantly seeing stuff about manifesting, you're in the wrong energy. You're in the wrong energy, right? So it's really just about, if you're seeing like, if you're constantly getting tarot readers over and over and over and over, and over again, you're in the wrong energy because you're still like just needing that validation. It's okay to get one every now and then. Actually, that's a great way to manifest and to move towards what you want because it's helping you build that without you doing anything. So tarot readers are not bad. It's just if you're over consumed by them, it is because you're going to get mixed messages and you're going to think this is, again, harder than it needs to be, okay? So everything is based off how you feel. So if you're ever starting to feel that drop in your energy, you got to get off your phone. So you need a lot of discipline, right? You need to be like, you know what? I got to get off for a while. So I know I went on a huge rant there because I really want to make this live. I want to get as much as I can in it because I am going to post this on YouTube for you guys and answer questions as well. But I really wanted to talk about lazy manifesting because I know a lot of people ask, and this way I can direct them right to this YouTube and say, go watch the YouTube. But it really is just something that you listen to because it feels good and it gets you back in alignment. And that's why, you know, Lazy Manifesting 2, again, is a lot of meditation reminders because by that point, you really have released a lot of your programming, or at least you're very aware of where you still have it. So when I moved into Lazy Manifesting 2 and I started creating it, I still had some stories fading out of my life, but it was it was not much, right? So it was like, then I started moving into that and it was getting me back into alignment, right? But by that point, you're very aware of what's going on and you know you can't make a mistake and you know you're indestructible. Nothing or nobody can hurt you. These stories have no power over you. You give them power. And this is why I want you to do it this way, because you get to a place of understanding that you're the only one keeping that story active. Right? When you start to feel better, you get that the reason that sucky story stayed around is because I kept entertaining it. I was anticipating it. I was thinking about it. And that's why it kept popping up into my experience, right? So you get that you create everything in your reality. But if you're just doing techniques to get something, you're not really getting down to the nitty gritty of what this all is, what this experience is. You're just throwing things on top of things, you're getting things, you're like, why am I still unhappy, right? So this just really gets you to a place of knowing what this experience is. It's your spirit, your pure positive energy, choosing to have this human experience. And that's it, right? That's all it is. And that from there, it's choice. Like, I choose what I want to, but even that, you don't even have to worry about that, because a lot of people say, like, I don't know what I want. I didn't know what I wanted. You already planned this before you got here. Trust me. That will all flow and come natural too. But you can know too. But just know there's a best version of it, right? This is so easy. It's actually more so not focusing on the manifestation. So someone said to me today, well, Kira, but what about, what if I think about my manifestation and it's positive? And I said, yes, that's fine. But if you're forcing it, if you're intentionally saying, I got to sit and think about this to manifest it, you're doing something to get something. So it's just honesty. You have to be honest with yourself. And I can't be there and at every moment and say, you're lying to yourself, right? So it's up to you. But I also say it doesn't matter because you can't make a mistake, right? And that's where inner guidance will let you know. I'll get more into inner guidance too, but let me just say hi to everybody. Hi, Caitlin. Oh, yes, Ashley. Oh, I love this. I love you guys talking amongst each other right now. We are even more powerful than the 3D circumstance. They have no meaning, really. They don't. Exactly. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys. I love this. Oh, I love it. Yes. Harsh words. Is getting quiet and pretending not to hear. Is getting quiet and pretending not to hear. If somebody, Jules, if you're feeling like someone's attacking you, all I do right there in that moment, Jules, this is always my advice to this. as you're moving out of these programs, just call it a program, an old story in that moment. Do not give it much power, okay? If it feels harsh in that moment, that's that fear kicking in. The best thing, Jules, that you can do for yourself is relax your body, okay? Now, in that moment, you may feel a little shaky, but just keep relaxing your body, and you do your best to just, if you have to feel like you have to say something, just say, I'm doing my best, right? It's kind of like, how I explain it is you have to focus on what you can control. So if someone was coming at me saying, you got to figure this out, you got to pay, and that would be harsh words. I would say, I would use it for my benefit to relax my body and say, I'm doing the best that I can. And that would be it. All I cared about was getting out of that moment and creating giving that no more energy. Do you get what I'm saying, Jules? So all I was thinking was, I want to get out of this situation right now so I can relax my body. So I would say, I'm doing the best that I can, right? I'm doing the best that I can. And I would relax my body. And then it would end. Obviously, the conversation, if you keep engaging with it, you're going to keep it active. It's just like anything. Reaction is reaction. If you're fighting with someone, you're going to keep fighting with them. So just go back to the basics of life. And we got to think more simplistic. It's very normal. If you fight with someone, you're going to keep going back and forth with them. There's just no way around it. So my advice to anyone that is still dealing with an unfavorable circumstances that is very scary is remind yourself, I'm only controlling what I can control in this moment. And there's nothing more I can do. I can't give you any more. I don't have any more. This is what I tell people. I'm like, you got to understand that you're moving out of these things. And you can only focus right now on what you can control, right? And you're the one that keeps these stories active, and you got to realize that. So these stories can vanish from your life in a minute if you take your attention and focus off them. But some of them, you keep on anticipating them. It's all you, right? But it's okay because you can use them to your advantage. You got to think, how can this serve me? That's how you got to live your life. How can this serve me? Well, for me, it was just helping me relax my body, and that was it, and become non-reactive. That's all I could do at that point because the story kept damn near showing up in my reality because it just had my focus, it had my attention too much. But it got me good at non-reaction. So it was a blessing in disguise, okay? Does that make sense, Jules? You will, Albina, you will. Of course, Miranda, of course. I love you guys are so sweet. And Miranda, you get them anyway, and you're saying thank you, and I really appreciate the thank you. Okay, let's talk about, what did she say? Albina says, how can I hear better my higher self? You will. So, I'm just now really tapping into that, okay? I've been tapping into it, Albina, but the more you do these practices, you're going to know the difference. And this is the best way I can tell you. If it's from your inner guidance, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, Albina, guys, you're always going to get, okay, there's a few reasons you'll know. It won't be directed toward your manifestation. It won't be. That's a program. So it's never like, oh, text them, right? That's a good one. Or go do this and you'll make more money. No, it's never that. Trust you me, it's not. Your inner guidance, anything coming from your inner guidance is based off your current reality. So it's going to be like, and I'm telling you, this is what it's going to be at first. It's going to be a lot of, you know what, it's time to rest tonight and just relax. Go take a drive and get your favorite drink. Vacuum, clean your house and listen to music. I'm telling you, that's what it is at first. It's very simplistic things. And how you know, another way to know if it's your inner guidance versus a program is if it's your inner guidance, the result is always positive. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you, Mind Surfer. So the result. So always think about the result. How did that all work out today? When I went within, I settled down and I got the inner guidance to go make a meal, and it went amazing. It went amazing. The day went amazing. That's your inner guidance. And that's how you'll start to know. The result will be positive. Always. Okay? So you'll start to trust it more. And you'll start to know wait, that was a program for sure versus this was my inner guidance. So how this all led to me right here was my inner guidance. 1,000,000%. And this is why you do the relaxing practices and you be with your own energy, because you start to tap into that more. and you're going to decipher it. You're going to know whether, and one thing leads to the next, and it'll just be a constant spiral to more and more and more. Like, you have your own plan. Your higher self, your higher self knows what you want. They have it all in a box. Like, they know, like, what makes you happy, what excites you, what you want in a relationship, what you want in a career, what's going to bring you most joy. It's already there. But you can't access that when you're so resistant and you keep fighting against this moment and you keep, being so reactive. But that's the point of my practices. You start lining up with these things, right? Your higher self knows what you love, knows what you enjoy, family, friends, people that you want in your life. See, another thing about me, guys, is that I was always connected before I knew this. So I always knew when a friend was for me, when a friend wasn't for me. It was very obvious. I would be like, yes, this is my best friend, that we are totally aligned, versus someone else coming into my life and I'd be like, you know what, this is just, the vibe's not there. I'm not saying I can't ever be around them, but they won't be my BFF. Like, I just knew who was going to be super close to me versus like someone that would just, not that they weren't a great person. You connect with, so think about that. Think about before you knew this, when you were kind of like intuitively moving through life. It's just now that we know this information, we got even more disconnected from it because of all the people teaching it, right? So it's like you're just adding more programs to your life. And it's I can tell you right now, when I really when I think about all of this and how it all unfolded for me, what delayed it majorly was all the manifestation stuff, without a doubt. It's like you could just keep moving through life and moving towards best. Thank you for that. Moving towards all these things so gracefully. If you just know that now I'm unlimited and I can have anything I want, right? And there only is the present moment. So it's like, just know like those few things, like, in this moment, I have access to the same unlimited possibilities that everybody else has access to. We all have access to it, right? And there is no past and there is no future. There only is this moment. So it's like these little basic things that will help you like simplify this. But it's like, there's just, you don't even really got to know that. I just added something. But like, if you just move through life, making the best of where you're at and what you've already created, you will just keep moving towards best and best and better. And control. See, this is a big one. Controlling only what you can control will keep moving you towards more. It's like, it's all about the energy you send out, because everything comes back to you and you are pure positive energy. So that will keep connecting you to your truth. It's very simple. Your truth is pure positive energy. That's your higher self. That's your inner guidance. So the more you send out good energy, it has to come back to you. And that's what's actually dissolving all your programming, is you're sending out that good energy and good's coming back over and over again. You just got to keep applying it, right? It's one practice. I always talk about it. It's just, you got to keep applying it. So my stuff is just there to help you, to boost it a little. You don't need my stuff. You could listen to the YouTube. You could go to TikTok every day, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. You could find your own ways to do it. You could listen to Abraham Hicks. Like, there's many things. I just created my own thing for myself and share it with people, and it helps people. But I never want you to think that you have to have it or you won't get this. There's many people that don't have it that we're aligned, and we talk about this all the time, right? So just know that, like, it's nothing you need. I never want anyone to think I'm forcing this ever. I would never do that to anyone. It's just there because I love creating it. It's fun for me. I enjoy it. That's it. And people are like, yes, I want it. And some people are like, I don't need it. And that would probably be me, to be honest. If I'm really being honest with you, I would probably listen to myself, but I probably would not buy any of my stuff. I'm being truthfully honest. Like, that's the type of person I am. So I just need you to know that I'm never, ever, 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 ever making anyone buy this. But the people that do have it now, I just want to talk about what it is, right? It's just helping you feel good. It's helping you stay in alignment, maintain alignment, work through your circumstances. While these old stories fade out of your life that you find to be so funny later because you realize you were the only one keeping them active, right? Girl, your nails belong. Her nails hurt. I had to bring my dog because my daughter's home and she cries when I'm not there. And my daughter's sweet. She doesn't mind, but I feel bad because I know how much that crying can be like. Yeah, and that I'm so glad Madeline brought this up, because this is actually a big topic. So she says all these robotic affirming and these affirmations, they also limit you. So that's huge. See, this is why I never know why I do things before I do them. I jump the gun a lot before I'm like, I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I used to get nervous always saying, stop doing techniques. And I knew deep down there was a reason why. It's because it limits you too. So not only are they too much work, you're working way too hard to get what you want, but they limit you. Your manifestations can come in so much better when you work with your higher self, when you work with your inner guidance system, versus these techniques are so limiting. It's like you're getting something so much smaller than what it could be. This is why a lot of people manifest relationships this way. And I have connected with so many people that said, Kier, I don't want to, like, not calling anyone out, but like, I worked with people that have gotten me the person, but it's not working, or I keep losing it, or I'm still unhappy. And I know why. It's because you're forcing it, and you're settling for less than best of what a relationship could truly be for you. So you got it. You got the quick fix. You got the person that came back, but you're still unsteady. You're still unsure, right? You got to get to a place of wholeness first. You got to be in love with you before you can bring love in. Really, like, that's the truth. And that's why, that's why I made the meditation for your specific person, the meditation reminder, because that's such a common topic on these lives. And I'm like, I got to put all these comments together and make this meditation reminder for you guys, because it's like all the stuff that you are doing is keeping it from you. And if you just did these few things and stopped doing all these things, it would show up into your life. But it really comes down to, you got to be in love with you. You got to love you, right? Otherwise, you're going to keep on giving your power away. It's not the person's fault. And you always got to remind yourself that. Like, it's just that we just change ourselves so much for people. If we like someone, we get that love, we get something that was exciting for that moment, and we don't want to lose it. And we're so afraid to lose it, but you don't realize you're not even your true self in it, right? You're just like changing yourself, and kind of like it's not even what a healthy relationship is. So you got to be focusing on yourself and feeling good on your own, so you can really line up with a healthy relationship. Oh, Ashley, I love that. That makes me so happy. That's what I want. Like, I truly want people to get this. Like, I'm always like asking, how can I help more people? What can I, obviously I want to do this for a living. I do. I love what I do, but I want to get what I can get out as much as I can, right? So I try to and I noticed through working with like your higher self and your inner guidance system, another thing I've learned, and this is a good topic too, is that they lead you to your best life and successes and all this financial freedom in a way that you're never going to feel like you're doing a job. And that's what I've learned through this. So it's always working out, even when you feel like it's not. It's like they don't want you to get dependent. They don't want you to connect that I'm doing this and making money from it. Because if you're too focused on the money still, that's why it feels like it's the opposite. It feels like you're not making progress, but it's because they don't want you. I say they, I really mean this. Your higher self is like, everything's working out for your highest good. So if you start to get too fixated and connect the dots, like, oh, wait, the money's coming in because I keep doing these lives, and it's going to become a job. And you're going to be like, I have to do these every day to make money. Do you get the mindset shift there? So if you work with your higher self, they're going to pull it from you a little. It's going to feel like that, right? And it's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Like, no, it's not because of that. No, it's like, you got to be living a fun-filled life. And you never want to attach what you're doing to income, because then it's always going to feel like you have to do it. Like, I don't feel like I do anything I have to do. It's so effortless for me. It's becoming more and more and more effortless. Like, I tell people, like, I wake up now, and everything's just, it's already done. because like social media and have like do all these things make it so easy for you to pre-plan things. Like I can post a lot of my stuff and schedule 3 things out on Facebook, right? Like, and it makes it so effortless, and it gives me so much time to like make a TikTok. Like I know, obviously I do make TikToks every day. I love doing them, and I like them more the day of. It feels more authentic to me. But a lot of my quotes are the same. A lot of my message never changes. So it's like, you know, it all lines up. It all becomes so effortless. It all becomes so easy. And that's what it means to like, money just is there for you. You're not doing anything to get it. You're just being you. And you get more creative, and it's more fun. I'm getting better at creating, if you guys noticed, I started making more posts and stuff with Canva. And this is all new to me, and I'm playing around with it more, and I'm getting more creative with it. This is all just because I have time to do that, and I'm sitting around just relaxing like, oh, this is fun. So this is what it leads you to. It leads you to just more creativity and more time to have more fun. And it should always be fun. It should never be a job. So when people would say, how do I get more clients? How do I get more money? I'm like, stop. You're so programmed still. You got to do these practices for a little bit, because you don't want to be doing things for anything. You don't like trust the process. That's why, like, stop. I only got 10 likes. You know, it's funny. You're so programmed. I'll tell you what, I watch people that follow me. Thank you for that. I watch people that follow me that are now starting to do TikToks. And I love it because I'm watching them. They're so authentic, and they're just creating because they want to create. And I'm watching, like, they get so many stuff, and I can see where, like, I'm always like, I want them to make sure they're just doing it because they're loving it. Because as soon as you start getting attached, this is what a lot of people do. They get attached to the likes and the comments, and that's all. And they're like, oh my God. And they got it. And it's not authentic anymore. It's now, it's a job now. And it's like, there's nothing behind it. There's nothing behind it. You're just saying stuff just to get more, right? So you always want to make sure you're doing it. I don't want to say for the right reasons, but because it feels good. I love doing these because it's fun. It's not a job for me. I'm not like, oh crap, I got to make my TikTok today. Let me get on TikTok and make my TikToks. If I don't do my TikToks, no one's going to follow me anymore. Like, you want to get out of all of this. You want to just live a free, fun life, and that's it. And that takes a little bit of practice. It took me practice to get to that point of just letting things flow and letting things happen and trusting the process, right? Trusting the process, you got to trust the practice first that I give you, right? I always say that, trust the practice, and then you'll start to trust the process. And then then you start to enjoy the journey. But at first, you're not enjoying the journey. You're more so like, in here, you're in your headspace too much at first, right? Well, we're all at a different place, but some of us are still too much in our headspace. Yes, Matt Giza. And hi, Matt Giza. Thank you, Ashley. Hi, Stacy. I left a comment on a video being my silly, authentic self. Oh, I love that, Ashley. I love that. Honestly, I love watching you guys now. Like, I click on your stuff now. I'm always like, everybody's so absolutely beautiful. Like, I always say, like, everybody, not that it's about that, but you all are. And I just love watching your TikToks, and I love watching you guys grow on TikTok, and just, you can, like, just being yourself and having fun with it. And that's what it's about. It's about having fun and loving what you do, and who cares what people think anymore. And I did not always feel that way. I was so in my head about this stuff, and I was so like, what if people judge me, and what if they don't like it, and what if they think I'm weird, and like, just over analyzing everything. And now I'm like, I don't even think about anything. It's so natural for me. And you get to that place. You literally get to that place. It's 111 degree. It's 111. Cece's always got the good stuff coming in. It's 111 degrees in Oklahoma. Oh, happy Sunday, Ashley. I ended up not getting Chick-fil-A yesterday. We were talking about Chick-fil-A. I just got this this powerful craving yesterday for Chinese food. And I like sesame chicken. That's my favorite. And it was so random. I'm like, oh my God. So Chinese food is something that I don't eat all the time, but like I'll get this craving for it. And it's like, oh my God, I need Chinese food right now. So that was yesterday. So I ended up me and my daughter got Chinese food. It was so nice. We got Chinese food. It was pouring raining. I went and picked it up, and then we sat home. And I don't know if anybody watches the Gilmore Girls, but they always got they're always eating. I said, this is me and my daughter. Literally, the Gilmore Girls is me and her. We're both sarcastic and funny, and I'm bragging that I'm funny. We're both sarcastic, and they're always eating. So it's like, and they get Chinese food a lot. So I was like, yesterday I was like, oh my God, I gotta get Chinese food. All right, I muted that. Just kick back. Yes, right, Stace. Stace says, just kick back, relax, and observe what the universe has for you. And that's what's so fun, too. The more that you focus on your current reality and you start to feel better and just, like I said, control what you can control. And guys, that may mean just getting up and brushing your teeth at first. Getting up and choosing, do I want to clean or do I not want to clean? Doing what feels best for you. But like I said, only controlling what you can control. And that's all it was for me at first. Like, I can control whether I clean my house right now and make it comfortable for me, right? And doing those types of things. And that's basically, that's what's moving you towards everything that you want. And that's not enough for people. Like, they're like, I got to do more, but that's because you're still in a desperate energy. That's all. So you just keep saying, nope, all I got to do is keep making the best of where I'm at and focusing on what I already have and making the best of it, right? And what I was trying to get at is that I'm watching things just magically. It feels like magic. Now, like, I know what Abraham's, you're like, okay, wait a minute. Like, my kids' lives are amazing. Like, and they're a reflection of me. So I'm watching their lives. They're my best example because I'm watching how their lives, my life's getting better because their lives are getting better because they're my kids, right? So it's like, I keep saying, like, it's like, they don't need me anymore, right? Like, actually today, my middle son, they've been working a lot and they're working together now. They've had the same hours. Wow, I don't have to take my kids how does that magically happen, right? And my older son drives, so he's taking my younger son. And I'm like, you know what? He's been working all day, and I feel like I want to clean his room. So I called him and I said, do you mind if I clean? I want to ask him. I don't want to be rummaging through his things. And I'm like, do you mind if I? And he's like, no, not at all. Like, of course he didn't care, but I don't want him to like think I'm looking through his things. And I wanted to do that. Like, I felt like that was something I wanted to do for him. He's younger. And he's just now working, and he's doing so good. And they work long hours, and they're such hard workers, and they work so well together. That's why they're putting them together a lot. And it was just like, I felt inspired to like be like, you know what, I want to ask him if it's okay if I clean his room for him. But no, I don't normally do that. Like, my kids are very independent, right? But he's been working so long, and I know he's tired when he gets in. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, I get, like, you sit and you say, like, what are things that I can do right now? All right. I actually enjoy cleaning, honestly. So I know, like, not everybody loves to clean, but I'm not the type of cleaner, like, where I'm taking out my whole closet and no, I'm not. Like, you'll open up my closet and everything will fall out. But I'm, like, neat. Everything's neat in my house. Like, you'd be fooled. You'd be like, oh, she's so clean. Your house is so neat. But then you'll open up the closet and, like, everything will probably fall out in my storage room. So, it's, like, it's very deceiving. But I like just clean, lit candle. I'll vacuum 20 times just to keep it, like, looking good. Mop the floors and stuff. But I enjoy cleaning. Like, listening to music and cleaning for me is nice. There's a lot of things I don't want to clean, but I still do clean them. I don't like cleaning the bathroom. That's like the least. It's just like, ugh. It's like the bathroom and the fridge to me are the two things that I feel like as soon as you clean them, like 2 days later, they're dirty again. I don't know if anybody feels that way. It might be just a belief that I have, but like it has my attention all the time. And I clean them out, and it's like before I know it, I'm like, I cleaned the fridge yesterday. It's already jam-packed with freaking food. And it's probably because my kids are young and like they're ordering food all the time. Oh, your stove. Like the top of your stove, Ash? Because that's another one. I put something on my stove all the time, though. Like I have this thing I put over it. It doesn't matter. Kids are so... I watch my kids. Like, you gotta, like... I'm always, like, I never want to, like, be annoying with them. But, like, gently say, just grab those few little crumbs that fell in the stove. They'll just, like, overlook everything. But then at the same time, they're pretty good with things. Like, my daughter will wipe down all the stuff in the house. Like, she'll get the Lysol wipes and she'll wipe down the tables. And she's clean. Like, my daughter's like... Now, my daughter's the opposite of me. That's what's so funny. So, she's, like, more cluttery, like, in her room, but she cleans everything. Everything's Lysoled. She washes her stuff all the time. Like, she's like, literally the opposite, where I'm more of, like, I don't know, like, it's neat in my house, but I'm not extra, like, cleaning the cracks of things. That's not me. I don't get, like, into detail like that. Okay, so it's dust for you. That's another thing. My son's room, everything was dust. I'm like, what the hell? It's all dust in here, dude. Like, do you not see this dust? I just had to get, like, a little bit of Windex and kind of just, like, wipe it. But it was just, like, the dust that piled up in there. I'm like, how do you not see this? Like, they just, like, I'm like, good for you. Like, you can totally ignore these things. But I'm like, whoo. How do I trust that everything that I want? So, Albina, you do ask this question a lot, right? I mean this from a very good place. You do say, how do I know that everything I want that's done? That's the thing, Albina. It's that you don't have control over that part. And the reason it's normal. It's normal for us to say, like, but how do I know it's done? But how do I know it's done? But that's the energy you want to get out of. Okay? Because that's no way to live your life. It's like right now you're like, I need to know. Well, how you know is by making the best of where you're at and what you do have control over. Because your life, Albina, is going to really start to run smooth. And it's going to get very easy and effortless. And then you'll start to connect to your manifestations, okay? So you're going to start to connect to them, Albina, the more you do my practices. I promise you, you will start to believe, okay? Albina, if you do what I say, I promise you're going to start to connect to them naturally. You feel like they're very far away from you right now, and you need to know, right? You're in this energy that most people are in, like, but I don't know, okay? In that energy. So how you get out of that is you just keep making the best of where you're at. That's it. Whenever you think about your manifestation, just calm yourself down, relax your body, get yourself back to this moment and say, you know what? There's many things that I can do right now that I do have control over. I can just, even if I just take a nap right now. And you got to keep doing that over and over again. And what's going to happen, Albina, is you're going to be watching your life unfold in front of you. It's going to get really good. It's going to get really good. It's going to start to run really smooth. You're going to get a lot of positive reflections back in your reality. And you're going to start to connect to them. It's going to be very natural. You're going to start to, like, naturally think about them in a positive way. And you're going to be like, whoa, I'm manifesting. Oh my gosh, it's happening. Right? Yes. Oh, thanks. I don't know how to say your name because it's Xavion. I have a lot of triggers specifically with a friend. Any advice? Yes, you focus more on yourself, right? It comes down to, like, you really don't ever want to need people to change so you feel better, right? So it's really about the best thing you can do if you have triggers around someone is to just get quiet and relax your body. Use it just for that in the beginning. Anytime you think about them and you're starting to get triggered, or if something shows up in front of you as a reflection that upsets you, in the beginning, it's just about relaxing your body. So the only way things can start to reflect back more positive is if you send out kindness. And that goes towards everything in your reality, even money. Even money, it's like you got to send out good to get good back, right? And a lot of times it's like when you're spending money, there's so much resistance there. So so at first you're just relaxing your body and just calming yourself down. And another little trick you can play, now it's got to feel real though, is you can start getting excited. Even though you're paying for things, get excited as people hand you things, as if they're giving it to you for free. Oh my God, thank you so much. So that will release resistance around receiving, right? And just understanding, like, so it's like a little kind of like a mindset trick. Now, obviously don't do it if it doesn't feel good. I'd rather you do nothing if it doesn't feel real, because then it's persisting. But that's a little mindset trick you can do. Like when you're paying for something and you have resistance, just relax your body, just breathe through it. And then when they hand you whatever it is, just get excited as if they gave it to you for free. So that's a little trick you can do. But yeah, so Hazo, just remember that everything's a reflection of you. So your friend is just reflecting back anything that you have that doesn't work for you anymore. Okay, look at it that way. And in order to move towards best and better with your friend, you have to calm down those moments where you feel like not good, maybe upset, maybe triggered, betrayed, whatever those words are. It doesn't really matter. If it doesn't feel good, you got to like just relax your body, because how to get good back from people in your experience is by you sending good out. So you can play around with this. Use everyone in your experience. Pretend they're all the same person. How would you be if, like, I like to connect it to, like, if I were to be with somebody, like a partner, right? Because that's someone you're with forever, right? So pretend everybody's your partner. Someone, like, how would you, I want to have the best relationship with my partner. I want it to always be positive, always be fun, always be like a friendship forever. So pretend everybody's that person. And how would you be with them? Fun, sending out good energy all the time. I'm fun, let's have fun, let's have fun. And just make it just that one person. All those other things will fade out of your life and everything will start to line up. But sometimes we overcomplicate it. And because certain people, thank you, Clover. Hi, Clover. Oh, what else? Who else was that? Oh, thank you, Clover. Thank you, Zor. I have had so many money beliefs clear out this past. Oh, Ashley, I love that. So I don't have to fight. No, because if you're fighting and arguing with them, you're keeping it that way in your experience, right? So it's just knowing that you create your own reality. So if you're going to fight with them, you're just going to keep fighting with them. So it's real obvious when you start to do this kind of stuff, basically. To move towards a fun, healthy relationship with them, you gotta not fight. You gotta look at it this way. Reaction just keeps happening. Someone's got to be the bigger person. How about we say it like that? Let's put it in a different way. If you want to move towards a healthy relationship, somebody's got to be the bigger person and stop reacting. Someone's got to calm it down, or else you don't get nowhere. So someone's got to take that step back, and you're the one that creates in your reality. So you gotta like, we can go back a little bit and make it more like, you know, yes, if somebody's fighting with someone, it's just going to keep on, you're going to keep fighting. So someone's got to say, enough's enough, and it's got to be you, because you create your own reality, right? So in that moment, just say, no, I want to move towards best and better, so I'm just going to relax, quiet this down, and then you'll just keep moving towards best and better with them. Because you think about it, if you're fighting with someone and you stop, where's the fight? It can't go nowhere. It has to disappear. Oh, I love that, Clover. Yes, that's really what it comes down to. It's like, Clover says, I'm choosing to make every day a fun day. And that's something that I say all the time, because you got to look at life as everything is serving you, because it is. The universe wants to serve you, okay? So you got to start playing that way. You got to say, how can this serve me? And like I said, at first, it's serving you to get good at non-reaction. That's all I did at first. It just helped me get real calm, real relaxed, you know, not make a big deal about things, get back into like my body again, get out of my head space. And that's how most of my stuff was serving me at first. From there, I started saying, okay, how can I make this moment better? How can I have more fun in this moment? Right? So I would start asking those types of questions, like, how can this be more fun? Right? So that's something you'll start as time goes by, as you get better at non-reaction and not being so reactive, you'll start to have more fun with life. Well, take the flirting out, but just think being pleasant, right? Like, I'm pleasant to everybody. Hi, how are you? Oh my God, like your hair looks so nice, and I'm being honest, right? Like, it's not flirting, it's just being kind, it's just being nice, right? I mean, if there's a moment where you feel uncomfortable, you just get quiet, you go back to the practice. You don't have to do it that way. You don't have to always be extra with everybody. But anyone that comes in my experience, that's just how I am. I've always been that way. And I've always dialed it down because I always felt like I was being too much, and now I'm just being me, right? Like, I was always like, hi, how are you? And then I'd be like, oh God, am I too much sometimes? And I stopped that for a while, and now I'm just being myself. So don't be that way if it doesn't feel aligned for you. Do what feels best for you guys. I'm just giving you guys, stuff from my own really life, honestly. But that's just me, and that's how I am, right? Like, I can't do anything that's not authentic. I can't. That's why I never aligned with act as if. I never aligned with like, you got to fake it till you make it, or I never aligned with affirmations, because that feels fake to me. That feels weird to me. But what starts to happen, the more you just make the best of where you're at and control what you can control, is that you start to do that. Which is so funny, is because I'm playing pretend right now. I'm literally pretending. Like, but it's not. You're just visualizing, like you're daydreaming. Like, I'm starting to plan things. I'm like, oh yeah, like, oh, that'd be fun when I do this, or we do this, or do that. And it's like, that's who you are. This is natural and normal for you to do this. But because of all the programming we got accustomed to, we're like, we think that we gotta like do things to get things, even when it comes to like certain things. Like, I gotta visualize. I gotta act as if. Like that, a lot of times I would hear people say, like, how I manifested it, they work. My SP is like, I pretended I had a dinner plate there, and I don't mean to make fun, but I'm not doing that. That don't work for me. I pretended I had a dinner plate for them and a drink for them, and I pretended like I can't do that. Like, that may happen in my mind, right? But not to actually physically do it. That don't work for me. I feel like a weirdo with that. But that's just me. Great. Granted, if that works for you, good. Now, would I do that in my mind? Yes, I probably would, right? But to sit there and actually physically do it, that felt weird to me. Yeah. Maya, yes. You have resisted. So you'd be surprised. You're saying that I'm constantly asking myself. Just the fact that you're constantly asking yourself lets me know where your energy is around this, what career I should do, and always searching online. Yeah, because I bet you if you just stopped searching and you were like, you know what? I'm just going to make the best of where I'm at, whether you have a job or not. I'm going to make the best of where I'm at now and start having fun with where I'm at now. That would pop into your experience, or it would start to unfold for you. It's just that you have too much resistance around it. So yes, definitely stop. Continue to make the best of where you're at in your life with whatever job you have now, and start saying, how can I have fun with this job now? How can I have fun being home now? How can I have fun with this now? Ask those types of questions. Don't ask questions in regard to manifestations and in regards to what you want. Don't ask how you can make this moment better. How can I make this moment more fun? Or if you're just not knowing what to do, this is another thing. Let's talk about boredom. So a lot of people say, I'm bored. What do? I'm bored. I'm numb. I'm like, you're actually doing amazing. How about that? Being bored is very high on the emotional scale. So let me talk about real quick before I go any further, is to get my free ebooks, because I have the emotional scale in it. I checked it. That's how long ago I wrote these ebooks. I have the emotional scale in the book on emotions. I have 6 free ebooks, guys, and 3 of them I tell people to get. They're very helpful. It's the one on limiting beliefs, the one on emotions, and the one on meditation breath work. If you're new to this, get those ebooks. They're very helpful. And the one has a picture, a diagram, the one on emotions, of the emotional scale. You can just look it up. You don't need my ebooks, but they're free. But anyway, it's high. It's high. So just look how far you've come. If you're feeling bored, you're getting this. You are getting this. I'm telling you. And now when I'm bored, I sit there and I go within and I find myself just having a cup of tea, lighting a candle, listening to some nice music, and just smiling. Like there's nothing I have to do. There's literally nothing. Like I'm telling you, there's times my inner guidance is like, nope, you just got to relax tonight. Like that's all I do every night pretty much, right? Like I'm not kidding. Like that's now during the day, it's becoming normal for me to you just start to go with the flow. Like I don't need to really ask, like, should I do this? Should I not? I kind of just know what to do now. That's what happens. It kicks in and you just start to flow, right? And you don't realize it's your inner guidance. Like at first I was like asking, going within, but now it's like it becomes natural. That's what I'm trying to say. It's so natural and normal, right? So a lot of times at the end of the night, I'm like, all right, I just did all this, did that. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm kind of bored. I'm like, what do I do? And I always hear like, just chill. Just be with your own energy. Just chill. And like I said, I'll have a cup of tea. I'll turn all the lights out. I'll light a candle. I'll listen to like some nice like background music or something. And that's it. And then I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is it. This is my life. Like you figured it out. You did it, right? You literally did it. And then sometimes I'll start creating something. Maybe it'll move me into that. But literally like boredom is a very, very good place to be. It's just relax into that. More relax into that and just realize like you got this, you figured this out, you're at a very good place right now. And then you'll just kind of start going up the emotional scale. Like I say, it's downhill from there. It's literally downhill from there. I was thinking about what I'd be doing if I was an animal. Yes, Ashley, they're the kind of things I used to say too. Ashley says, I was thinking about what I'd be doing if I was an animal. They'd be chilling all day. I say that. They are your perfect example. They just relax, right? Right? They're not trying to prove their worth to me. They're just there to cuddle and, be there for us whenever. Like, that's a great example to, like, send out good energy to, loving energy. You're going to get it back all the time. Like, this little girl, like, she's like my little sidekick. She's always with me, but, right? She's such a good girl. She probably like, what are you doing on here? You're talking to yourself. But yeah. And what else? Like thinking about what would you do if you had everything? If you had everything, what would you be doing? If you like, I did it all. I accomplished it all. You'd be like, oh, you know what? I did it. Right? So you tap into that more. So that's like what Ashley's saying is something that you start to tap into more. You're like, yes, that's what it would feel like. I know, Clover, they really are. I know, they're like the best. They're the best. Like, and it's like they're just always there to give it back. Like no matter what, right? They're the perfect example. Hi, Kat. I'll tell you what. I used to think that way, like who has time to be bored, but I find so much peace in that. And just being with my own energy, being able to relax. I have an itch in my nose and there's nothing there and it's driving me crazy. Thank you, Zor. Oh, yes, guys. It's so true. Clover says, I don't know what Cece said or what I missed, but she says, learning and growing together. And that's what's so much fun about all this is like we're all in this together, like Abraham said. And we're all understanding this together. And we're all at a different place. And we're all moving towards something different. Because what you find out is we all have different desires, right? And we all have a different plan for our lives. But you do have a plan. You've been putting into that plan your whole life. And just allowing it to just happen is really the key in it. And just getting into that allowing, receiving energy. Which to me is actually so easy when you understand that it's really just all you got to do is tap into controlling what you can control in your current reality. Like, and this goes towards everything. Like, you might not be able to control how somebody may be, but you can control how you be, right? So you got to start saying, like, in each area of your life where you might have a dominant story, I might not be able to control what my bank is saying right now, but I can control how I respond to it right now. And I can relax my body and know that I am moving towards more. I know how this works. And if it just serves me in this moment to just relax my body, that's enough. That's enough, right? And that's it. Like, it's that simple, but you just got to keep doing it and use it. Everything, like I said, everything is serving you. It really is, to get really good at these practices. And these practices are just getting you back to your truth. That's all, guys. It's not like I do these practices all the time and live my life. No, like, you get back to your truth and you just live. Now you're just going to live. Eventually you get to a place of what you came here to experiences. So what's getting in the way of it naturally flowing is all your programming, right? That's it. So the more that you just keep relaxing and making the best of where you're at and controlling what you can control, your programming starts to fall away. And that's it. And then you get back to your truth. And it goes really fast. Like, I feel like things are happening very fast, super fast for me now, but yet I'm not doing a thing. And it's because I really don't have any more programming. And you get to a place of, my reminder now is wholeness and complete, right? So that's my quick reminder now. Like, I always would have a quick little reminder, but now it's like, wait, if you're whole and complete, you have nothing to prove. Everything's just a fun experience from there. So you get better at just, and then I get right back into alignment. Like, it's so automatic, right? And because I don't have any more programming. So you get away from all that programming. Yes, Claudia says, so fast. I love that answer, Ashley. I don't know what the question is, but she says, not everything needs a response, and she's so right. Get better at observing, right? Get better at just saying, you know what? If I don't know what to say, I'm going to say nothing right now. Like, I used to say, go back to, if I can't say something nice, I'm not saying a word. And this is why quiet and calm is so powerful, because it's not always easy to be nice in certain circumstances that we have and stories that we have, right? It's not always easy. So your safest choice is to get quiet and say, how can this serve me? Well, it's going to help you relax your body. Because I'm not going to say that I didn't feel like I was being treated unfair with some of my circumstances, because I did. But I never voiced that, and I never talked about it. I just kept using it, saying, how can this serve me? How can this serve me? How can this serve me, right? This is my job to move towards best and better. Nobody can do it for me. And I would just keep using it to relax my body. So it's all about you and knowing you create your own reality and not falling back into that victim mindset, which we do at first, and that's okay. And just keep relaxing and moving out of it. You'll just keep getting better and better and better at this. Do you ever feel like you were a pushover? Feel like I was being a pushover. Yeah, but that's still victim mentality. So that's still a program. So it's one of those things where, like, you still have a belief there, Cece. That's all it is. I know what you mean. Because it's like a belief that you still feel like you're not, like, I'm being taken advantage of now. So it's still a crappy story, though. And your focus is on that. Do you get what I'm saying? So even though it's like the opposite of that is standing up for yourself, right? And I noticed that neither of those work. So it's still a story. So even if I was like, I can't do that for you. You're like, felt like I was taking advantage, so I got to put my foot down, versus like doing it. It was like, if I did it, I still felt there was no in between. So it's still a story. So it doesn't matter. It's just something you got to keep relaxing and quieting down. It's just because it has your attention. The story has your attention, right? So just keep quieting that down. There's still a belief there. Does that make sense, Cece? Like, so basically, just keep practicing. That's really what I'm trying to say, is keep doing it, because you still have a belief there. So you just got to keep getting, it's like, I don't like to say getting to the root, because that sounds like, what am I getting to? Just keep relaxing your body through that. Okay, so here, Cece, here's how I'm going to answer that. Here's a better way to answer it. So say you're presented with something, and you're like, if I say yes, I'm going to be so angry that I say yes. But if I say no, I'm going to feel bad for saying no, and I'm going to think they're mad at me. Well, Cece, what's the best one? What's the best one? So that's what I would do. I would say, okay, if I say yes to this, I feel like a pushover. But if I say no to it, I'm going to feel like, I'm going to be like, oh, I hope they're not mad at me. Now, a lot of times it was this. I had to say no. I'm like, I think I can say, do you get what I'm saying? Doing what I want would be yes, do what you want. That's how life should be. And that's the thing. Like, right now, I don't have to do anything I don't want to do, Cece. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm at a place by doing these practices now where nobody asks me to do anything. It's only if I want to do it. Like, if I want to take my kids out to eat, if I want to take them to this, if I want to watch, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody really, like, putting me out. Like, can you do this for me? I don't have any of that in my energy anymore. So there's still a belief there, Cece, where, like, you feel probably either taken advantage of still, or you have that belief still within. So my best advice is just, if you can confidently do what you want, then there's no topic here. There's no question. But a lot of times people, and it's a good question, because I can help a lot clear things up for people, is that some people still saying no, there's resistance in saying no. But saying yes, there's resistance too. So it's really about, like, which one feels best. That's how you work with that circumstance. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's so best to say yes, because then you don't have to worry about anyone being mad. Yeah, so for me, now, yes, Linda, but you should be moving out of that. That's the thing. You got to keep doing these practices, because you shouldn't always be doing what you want when you want, and that's how it should be. So just keep applying it, and you'll get what I mean, right? A lot of times we anticipate things. This is what I talked about in the beginning. I was anticipating people asking me to do things, because that was a pattern, right? But the more I quiet down those patterns, it wasn't happening anymore. It doesn't happen at all anymore. Just know, I love what Madeline keeps saying, you can't mess anything up. Just keep doing this one practice. Keep controlling what you can control. That's it. You can control how you respond to that person that asks you, right, Cece? You can say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Or a lot of times there's resistance saying, I don't want to do that, but I can't. I'm busy. And that's it. And if you can move on from that very easily, you really won't have it happen much, right? So for me, a lot of things that, like, say somebody would ask me to do something and I didn't want to do it, I would say, I know I'm not going to have to do it, and I wouldn't. Because I would just get really quiet and calm, and it would work in my favor. But if I started planning it in my head, like, all right, now I got to take her at 4, then it's gonna manifest, right? Because I don't believe there's any other way, right? I think I'm limited to that, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So the more you play around with this, you're like, wait a minute, no, I'm not going to have to do it, right? And then I stayed quiet and calm and relaxed, because I'm so unlimited in many ways. This can go many ways. I would get out of it. So many times I got out of things by doing that practice, just by relaxing my body, because you're so unlimited. This is what I'm trying to, like, also help people understand, is that when you get asked to do something and you say yes, you can get yourself out of it, because you're so unlimited. So I would say yes and test it out. And I'd say, you know what, I'm going to get really calm around this. I bet you and I mean, this is my kids. I'm involving my kids, my poor kids. But how many times my son would be like, can you get me? And I'd be like, oh, I don't really feel like it. And I would do the practice, and he'd be like, oh, I got to ride. I can't tell you how many times. And I'd be like, this is amazing. Like, you're so unlimited, right? So it's like, it's kind of even limited thinking to think like, oh crap, they asked me to do that, now I'm stuck to it. No, like, you're so unlimited. You can move yourself out of that because you're so unlimited, right? Yeah, no, girl, don't. Yes. So Cece, that's a good thing for you. So this is a really good, another good topic. So Cece, in that moment, say, how can this serve me? Be like, you know what? It's going to serve me because now I know I don't got to explain myself. I can just say no. I can just go, nah, I don't really feel like it. I can confidently, kindly say no now. It's easy for me, right? So that's something that's going to serve you. So I always say, like, how can this moment serve me, right? Like, if maybe someone asks me on the spot and I say yes, and I already said yes and we're about to go. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use this to serve me. I'm going to have a real nice conversation. I'm going to relax my body through it. And it's going to turn out even better than I can imagine, right? And like, I always say, like, everything can serve you. Anything and everything can serve you. Yeah, so like, even as I started, like, when my life fell apart, I had to really focus on me and my kids, especially my kids, right? And I felt guilty for like missing things. And I was like, I feel so bad, but I just really need to be focusing on myself. I'm going through a big change in my life, right? And I felt like I had these stories like everyone's going to be mad at me because I'm not going, that my mind wasn't in the right place. It wasn't. And my kids needed me too, right? And I felt so much guilt, and like I felt like I was getting reflections back, and I wasn't really. It's me and my beliefs, and it's all that guilt you feel and all that crap, and you got to keep doing and I had to keep applying that practice, right? And you know, you move out of it, and you'll realize, okay, it's just me making up darn stories again. And even if they are mad, it's fine. I got to focus on myself and my kids, and everything will be fine and dandy when it's all said and done. But you know, like, that's where my heart was leading me in that direction. Focus on yourself, focus on your kids, focus on yourself, focus on your kids. And that's been my life for the past couple years, 3 years. It's been me and my kids, literally, right? And then TikTok, because I started sharing my story a lot. Not really my story, but the practices I used to get out of a lot of my circumstances, right? To move me towards, you know, the life that I deserve, really. Not the drama and the, you know, the unfavorable stories. Yes, right, Madeline? I used to always try to explain that, Madeline. Like, it's everything's showing up. It has to show up in a way, your beliefs. So it shows up in these stories that, you know, you relate to, right? So it's like, it shows up in this person and that person and that, right? And it's a servant. It's helping you. And it's like so hard to explain because it's all you. It's a projection of your consciousness. And that's how you're having this experience, right? And basically, in order to move towards best and better, these things have to pop up to show you, you know, where you're holding yourself back, right? But I always try I try to remind myself that I am here for this human experience. And as much as I do know what I know, I still want to have this human experience, right? So I always remind myself that. And I love doing what I do. So, like, this is something I enjoy so much. So even though it's all a reflection of me, and it's just helping me get better at this stuff, it's all for fun, right? And it is all co-creation, and, you know, it's all, like, to me, it's like my own channel. I look at it, and, like, it's getting out there to people, and that's all that matters, right? But yeah, like, as much as you know what you know now, it's like, but you still, like I always say, I still came here to have this fun human experience, and I want it to be the best experience that it possibly can be. Yes, Ashley. Yes, it's like it's the truth, right? And like, all the answers are here. That's what people always say to me. They're like, how do you know what you know? And I don't read anything. It's not like people say, you sound like this book or that. But I'm like, I never read any books. It's the answers are all here. You don't need anything. It all come to you, right? So that's what it is. Like by doing these types of practices, I was just knowing this stuff, right? So like you just know it, right? So like I'm only telling you what you know too, right? I'm just the one I'm the vessel, right? The people say the vessel that it's coming through. But it's like you all know it. That's why you resonate. You're like, oh my God, she's right, right? And then a lot of users are talking about it too, right? And you're doing these practices, so you're gaining the same wisdom as I am. There's no secret to it. There's no like, you don't need a book to know this, right? It's all here, right? Like I would ask a question, I would get the answer instant. Oh, I'm sorry. She doesn't like clapping. I feel so bad. I'm sorry, baby. I would ask a question. I would get the answer instantly. Instantly get the answer. So it was actually it starts to become really cool. Like I'd be like, I just got the answer. Like as I was asking the question. Cece goes, I read so many manifesting books and I still be so confused. I know. It's like, I never read any of it because I'm not a reader. And that's why I say like this was like had to be a part of my plan because I never liked school. I not resisted it. I had to find ways to make it work for me. And I never liked to like learn that kind of stuff. Like I felt like I was being forced. So this all came natural to me because I enjoyed it. Oh my God, girl, you need a haircut, girl. You want to go over here? I made a nice comfy bed for her. And she's in the back. She's on my lap. Oh, yeah. I know. You know what, Madeline? I used to get triggered by stuff like that, and the more that I like stopped watching it, it just like I'm like, why do I keep entertaining this stuff, right? Like I just said, how can it help me be a better way to teach this? Like it's like I think there's still like a lot, like it's not their fault. It's like people don't know any other way, right? It's like that's a program. They're in like they don't even aware that they're in a program, right? They still have a belief that the only way they can make their money is that they sell this program, right? So now that it's what I talked about earlier. It's like that's when it becomes a job. When you feel like that this is my only source of income, but your source comes from source. Like this is what I try to tell. Like I was trying to explain is. You got to understand that you're always provided for, you're always taken care of. You're whole in this moment. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to force anything. It'll all be so natural. And in order to get out of that, you really got to, like, it's scary for people to say, but if I don't sell my stuff, or if I don't do this, or if I leave my job, then where's it going to come? And that's that fear that kicks in. But if you work with it in that moment, and even move and stay at your job, don't leave it and just keep doing these practices, you'll move out of all of that, right? But again, it's one of those things where you gotta like be like, it is what it is out there. There's so much stuff out there that's gonna trigger us. And when we know what we know now, it's like, you know what? As soon as people start to open up to this more, you gotta be open to it. Sleep with one of the meditation tracks on. You will feel amazing when, yes, Ashley. Yes, the meditation stuff is great, especially, I don't know where you're at, Ashley. If you're in the beginning, like present moment, stand in your power, abundant timeline, because I think you just got it. And that's like those meditations, let me tell you, and I'm being truthful. You guys know I'm honest. I listen to that stuff over and over and over, and I listen to my own stuff over and over again. And it's just, it helped me remind me of what this all is. And that's basically what I do with the second one. Not so much right now. I just like to be honest. Where I'm at right now, guys, is I just listen to music. Like, I feel like I got rid of all my programming. That's why, honestly. I listen to regular, all kinds of music, and that's it. Like, my life is just unfolding. So, I definitely did. I can like confidently say like my programming's pretty much gone, right? Things are just kind of unfolding now for me. But that's what I was listening to, those things over and over. That was my life, and it was me. It was basically me listening to me. And so that's what it was, Madeline. Like, I always would say, like, how can I didn't like coaching because I felt like it was not getting anybody anywhere. I did it for very brief, only because people were asking me. So it never felt right. Like, it's like you do an hour of coaching, and you didn't really get anywhere with anyone. It's just, it was like a therapy session, because first they want to tell you where they're at. And this is no against anyone, but it's like they got to tell you your story. So it's just a vent session. And it's like, I didn't understand, like, why does this not feel right? So like, I just had to keep asking, like, how can you best help people with this stuff, right? And the truth is that you just have to you just have to know what this is. You have to know, let's start from, I always say, let's start from the beginning. First, you got to be open to it. Number one, you got to be open. Now, I want to say, like, sometimes you could clear stuff up for people with coaching, but it's still too limiting. So basically, you got to be open to this information. You got to be like, this is exciting. Yes, I want to move towards my best life. I want to live my best life while I'm here. And you got to be open to it. And then from there, you got to stop venting. So that's what it is, right? Before all of that, you got to know that everything's done. So your best life is done and you're moving towards it now, right? And then you got to stop venting. You got to stop talking about your problems. And that's it. And then you make the best of where you're at, right? Current reality. Control what you can control. And remind yourself from time to time, everything I once done. And the biggest one is quiet, calm, and relax. When you're not feeling good, when something got picked up momentum, use it to quiet that moment down, relax your body, and you'll move out of it. And that practice is your power practice right there. Because when in doubt, you can always go to that, right? When you're like, I don't know what to do, you settle. You calm yourself down. Always take time to settle. Yeah. And it's like, Madeline, it's one of those things where, like, I think I just always, and I'm not trying to, like, put myself on a high horse, but I just always wanted to, like, be truthful and honest and never feel like, even I feel that cringe. I'm like, how do people not feel that? Like, when you're like, buy my stuff, or like, guys, I try to tell people to get my free ebooks, and sometimes I feel it. Like get my free ebooks, they're free. But I never, it's like, because I don't know what it is. It's like, I never like to feel that like, get my stuff, right? I don't want to be that person. I just don't like that feeling. And I don't know. It was just a belief that I had to figure out why. Why does that bug me? But I think the more that you just keep doing these practices, it just feels more natural to, like, talk about what you have. And, you believe in it. You believe in it too. Like, I truly believe in the stuff that I created. I know it's helpful, but I also know you don't need it. It's helpful. Like, I know you don't need it, because, like I said, let me tell you the kind of person I am. I ain't buying nothing. I'm gonna find the way to do it without paying a dime. I'm gonna really be honest with you guys. Where I am today was all me and my higher self. Didn't pay anything. Okay? Everything that I've created was from nothing. So I got to be truthfully honest. Like, I'm not paying for no damn program. You're not getting me to buy that program. That's how I am. So for me to start talking about my stuff and say, get it, you need it, or well, girl, you wouldn't even buy it. Let's be serious, right? Because that's how I am. I'm stubborn. So it's like one of those things, if you like my stuff, you're going to get it, and it's going to help you. And I can guarantee you that. But You don't need it. And I always have to be honest when it comes to that. I don't listen to Neville, Daniel. That's not, I don't resonate with that, because I think Neville figured it out that we create our own realities through our thoughts, and he wrote a lot of books on it, and then now people are doing things to manifest. So actually, I don't resonate with that. Not Neville, he figured it out, that's all, and then he wrote books about it. So he's right, but everyone else is teaching from Neville, and they're teaching you how to do it, but you don't need to know how to do it, Daniel. You're always manifesting. You're born manifester. That's what this experience is. So no, you don't need that. You don't need any of that, because that's who you are naturally at your core. You're a manifester. But you're thinking now, you're in a program now because of all this stuff, teaching and listening all this stuff about Neville, is that you gotta learn how to manifest. Someone's got to teach you how to do it. Come work with me. I'll teach you how to get that person. I'll teach you how to get that money. You got to do A, B, C, and D. These techniques. That's a program. That's a program. That you don't want to be in that. You're not. That's what you're a natural manifester. You've been doing it your whole life. But because we know now that our thoughts create our reality, we're jumping on that program now. We're adding another program to our programs. Oh, I just got to do these visualizations. I got to sit here and visualize that I'm on the vacation. Guess what? You're going to do that naturally when you drop all the programming telling you have to do that, right? So it's like you got to get out of all of that. So no, Neville, you don't need Neville. Neville, yes, of course he knows exactly. He wrote books about it. At his time, he discovered this. But he's not your updated, I used to say this all the time. Your most updated teachers are Bashar and Abraham Hicks. I stand by that. I don't even listen to them anymore. But they're your updated teachers. If you're just learning any of this, this is just coming into your life, Bashar and Abraham Hicks are the only two people that I know that are the best. And that's just me being truthfully honest and speaking from my experience, because they're teaching you the most updated. What does Bashar say? Everything's done. Act on your passions. Act on your passions. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm saying control what you can control. Everything else will take care of itself. Abraham says, focus on things that are working in your life, and everything else will come into your life. But that's not enough. That's not enough when you're running on a program, when you're still thinking you got to do to get. I got to prove my worthiness. I got to prove that I exist, that I'm worthy to have this experience. I got to prove myself to the world. I got to work hard. I got to work these long hours to get this paycheck, and I got to prove my worth for this existence. Program. And now I got to do these techniques. I got to do them every night. And if I stop doing them, it might not manifest, because I got to get on that frequency. I got to raise my vibration. See, I said that I wasn't going to do this because this one's going on YouTube, and here I am acting a fool on here. Another one is, what I do to manifest is I raise my vibration. What are we doing? No, that's a program. That's a program. You are perfect. You are pure positive energy. So you're not doing anything at all. You are it. You are worthy. You are perfect. You are whole. You are complete as you are. That's what you want to access. That's the place you want to get to. Anything anybody's selling you is a program. Exactly what they call it. A program. Literally. You don't need anything at all. You need to know that everything is done. Everything you want is done. Now, in the best way possible. You're moving towards it now. The only action that you take is in your everyday life with what you've already created, because you create everything. So you're controlling only what you can control. And guess what? That may be just brushing your teeth for where you're at in your life. We're all at a different place. Brushing, for me, it was that. All right, I'm going to make my bed, brush my teeth, pick out my clothes, and make sure my kids have dinner. And that's as far as I could go with the crap that I had going on, okay? And kept applying these practices. When I didn't feel good, when something showed up, just breathe through it, stay quiet, try not to engage with it as much as I can. And it got me better at practicing non-reaction. And it helped me understand my true power and understand that it's all within us now. You don't need anything outside of you at all. Nothing. How you will move towards your manifestations will be so effortless that you don't realize it's happening. And that's the point. That is effortless manifesting. Thank you, Clover. Thank you, Linda. So, even though I'm acting like screaming and yelling, which I was like, did you guys see Patreon? I'm like, I'm posting this one on YouTube, so I have to behave. And now I'm like screaming and yelling. But it's important. I do feel like it's important to get these messages out because you don't need anything and you should never be doing anything to manifest at all. It's a whole other program. Like I always say, you might as well go back to the program where you work long hours to make money and you're in a relationship where it's kind of okay, and you might as well go back to that because you're just adding more programming by getting into all these techniques and stuff, and now you're like held to this person teaching you how to manifest, right? You shouldn't need anything, and nothing should need you to survive, because you don't need anything to survive. You're whole and complete in this moment. As soon as you feel like you need something to survive, you're in a program again, right? So it's like, I need this person or I'm not going to be able to breathe. I'm going to die without them. I'm going to die without this job. You're in a program, right? So quiet that down, right? So quiet all that stuff down. No affirmations, ET. It's still a program. So when it comes to manifestations, ET, it's done in the best way possible. That's it. That's it. You get back to this moment now. You get back to this moment now, and you focus on what you've already created, and you keep making the best. Remember, it goes back to, it's a gratitude practice. It's a natural, authentic. It turns into a natural gratitude practice. So basically, when you keep making the best of where you're at, ET, everything is moving you towards what you want. Your life starts to get better, your current reality, and that's being thankful for where you're at, and that's what's moving you towards everything that you want. Your life gets very, I want to say, like, beautiful. Like, your current reality does actually start to get really good. Even though not much has happened, you're just at a place of peace because you really get who you are. You understand who you are, and your pure positive energy, your love, right? So you get to that place. And then things really start to happen because you get that you're whole and complete in this moment. And the manifestations are just fun experiences that you're choosing to have. But you don't need them. They're just something you're choosing to have because you want to. Yes, you want them, but you don't need them. And you'll know the difference. It's not an attachment. It's not I need this to feel better, right? You're just whole and complete now because you've done these practices. So the breath work's great, isn't it? So many reasons why I liked breath work. Another thing, to check out all my playlists, is I have a meditation breath work playlist on here. It'll probably talk about, because again, these are when I used to do that. So that's where I was at with doing them. And it helped me. Breath work helped me a lot. I used to go, like, at work when I was working, I would go into the bathroom and I would do breath work. I'm like, I just need to, like, chill, because I was, like, in a panic or getting upset about something. And it always, like, just calmed me down and relaxed me in that moment. No problem, E.T. God, that's cold. See, yeah, and I never resonated with the tapping. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not teasing it, but I'm like, this feels like I'm not doing anything. Breathwork felt like I was doing something. Like, it actually felt like something was actually like energy was moving in my body, right? So that's why I connected with it. And I did it for a good bit, but I don't do it at all anymore. But I did do it for a while. It's why I talked about it a lot, because it was very helpful. And I had a really like strong meditation. I say strong because I was a meditator at first. I think that's why I moved through things so quickly. And now meditation is who I am. Like, I'm not meditating. Like, I'm connected, basically. I'm connected. Like, my inner guidance is, like, I would even say that I probably, like, I am the channel. Like, I don't even want to say I'm channeling. Like, I live this. Like, I know what I'm talking about now, and I'm pretty confident in it, right? Yes, that's a good one too. Oh, you guys are so amazing. Helping ET. That's a good one. Yeah, that one, I had a lot of shifts in my reality, in my life, when I did the face. I don't know, sometimes I like to use the word life instead of reality because it sounds like weird to people, but just in my life started to get better when I started to relax my face and my shoulders and just take that breath. Things were moving quickly when I intentionally did that practice. So, like, I would just, honestly, I remember one time I was doing something still that I didn't want to do, and I was really just having a lot of resistance, getting upset. And I remember getting calm and saying, what do I do? And I heard, just drop your shoulders. And it literally, I changed my mood changed. And I just got real happy. And I'm like, damn, that's powerful. After that, I shared it. I said, this is powerful. So relaxing your face, because I carry no tension in my jaw now. That's where I carried a lot of tension. Shoulders, and just kind of let your body fall. And just, I don't know, I just always just let my body fall. And that just feels so good, right? And always go back to, like, I'm supposed to feel light. You're supposed to be moving through life in flow, and that's a feeling of being light, right? And don't think you're never going to get nervous, because I still get nervous. Like, I say that people like, I don't want anyone to think I'm not still a human, because I am. Like, I get nervous sometimes out of nowhere. If I get caught off guard in a store, like, if somebody says, like, oh, I love your hair, I'm always like, I get, like, flustered. I don't know why. Like, I'm human. I'm a human. And, like, you know, there's sometimes I'm, like, yesterday I was getting gas, and all of a sudden there was people everywhere, and I got nervous. So I had to, like, relax my body, and then I got a sign, because Beyonce, who runs the world, Girls came on. I'm like, what the heck? And it just, like, boosted my confidence, and I'm like, I'm fine. I can handle this. So, yeah, it's like, you know, I still have moments. I'm still human, but you just use it to just relax your body, calm yourself down, remind yourself you're fine. Everything's fine. And then it's fine. And you just keep showing yourself yet again, everything always works out for me, right? Yeah, I know what you mean. Cece, a lot of people used to say to me that, and guess what? I thought this benefited me. So when you start to meditate, at least when I did, I would fall asleep all the time. But what I would do to get it to work in my favor is I would just fall asleep and give into it, because it helped me meditate. I was just, like, meditating, relaxing my body, and I'd fall asleep. And when I would wake up, I would meditate again, right? So when people say, like, you know, I fall asleep a lot when I meditate, I say, use it to your advantage, because what you're going to do is, not only are you learning how to relax your body, which is good, but when you wake up and you're going to feel refreshed, you can go into a meditation now, and you'll have an actual meditation, even if it's like 5-10 minutes or something. But that was something, I never used to take naps, but when I started meditating, all of a sudden I was tired. Like, I just couldn't keep my eyes open. Oh, I love that, Linda. Yeah, so you just relax your body and it all works out, and you're doing so well. I know, Madeline, yes. It really is all in the relaxing. Like, that's what's helping you become more aware. of certain patterns and stuff too. That's why I say, like, just find time to relax. Find time to get a bath. Find time to soak your feet. Find times to, like, rest in your heated blanket. Thank you for that. Thank you, Zor. Yeah, Ash, right? You just surrender to it all, right? That's the best way to put it. Ashley said, I just surrender to sleeping now. And that's what I said. Like, I'm not fighting this, right? I'm going to just go with it. Right, Madeline? And I remember Abraham saying that that's not an actual meditation. And I used to say, you know what? I actually think you can use it to your benefit. I'm not knocking Abraham, but, like, that's why I said, like, I may say things that you may not resonate with. And that's okay, guys. I want you never to think that my word is the only way, right? That's what I never want to relay, that message. Like, you're going to find ways that work for you that won't work for me, vice versa, right? So, like, always say, I never resonated when Abraham said that. She'd be like, that's not an actual meditation. I'd be like, I don't know. It always felt like it to me because I would relax my body, fall asleep, but then I would meditate after that. So, hi, Chris. Actually, I have that story, E.T., that story is in my membership about the Manifest SP. I don't know if you guys got that yet. I have an audio on that. It talks about before I knew so much about, you're always manifesting. That's a thing. That's still like E.T., like those types of questions let me know that you don't get that you're always manifesting yet, right? And don't get into techniques though. Like, it's very natural how that person came back into my life. It was like I was feeling at a good place, but I still wasn't nowhere where I am now. And it was just starting to manifest, like, very naturally. But don't get it wrapped up in those techniques though, because that's going to make you think you got to do things to get it. You just got to let it flow, let it be very natural. You just know what you want's done. But yes, I have. But again, it wasn't when I was so aware of all the stuff that they're teaching out there. It just happened very naturally, right? Like, I broke up with them and I still liked them. I moved on. I was happy, and then bam, they popped up into my life, and I was getting signs of them before they popped in. So it was like very, very natural until I found all this information out, and that makes it more difficult. That it's like, and that took like a month. But they're like, you'll get them back in 6 months, or it's all this programming way they're teaching it, and it's so limiting you, right? And honestly, when that did come back, I still, like, I didn't want it anyway because I just moved on. But what I'm saying is that get out of that trap. Get out of that trap with these people teaching you how to manifest. It's just a whole other program in itself. In which how to forgive myself for making mistakes while being in a relationship, which I still am. So you're saying, so same thing, that's still reacting. Anything like that, you just got to see. The thing about it is, if you're in a relationship and it's not what you want, right? You got to know that what you want's done. So you got to keep it more simple, Jonah. Just know that the healthy version of that relationship, it's done now, and you're moving towards it now. But you got to practice being okay with where you're at, making the best of where you're at with the relationship now. And whenever anything pops up that doesn't feel so great now, you do the practice of non-reaction. You just get quiet, calm, relax, let that moment pass. And you be the person that you want to be. Like, if you're in a relationship and you're not happy and you're feeling bad for the way you're being, well, practice being who you want to be. That's easy. You want to be fun. You want to be kind. You want to be loving. Well, do that now, right? So that's easy. Like, you're in the relationship now and you're feeling like, I made mistakes. I feel guilty. Well, how do I want to be in a relationship? I want to be kind. I want to be loving. I want to be fun. I want to do that now. There's You can do that now. When you can't do that, go back to the quiet, calm, relax your body though, because you're still running on a program. That's all. Okay? I know, Stace. I know. I'm so excited. This one was so good. And I'm like even now trying to like pop up with maybe some other little things I can think of, because this one is going to go on YouTube. Yes, Ashley, right? Get it? Yes, I love that. I used to say like it's so easy to fall asleep again, right? It's so easy to be like, whoa, I'm falling asleep again. And now, what's so funny about now, guys, is that now when I find myself daydreaming or visualizing naturally, I don't even realize I was just doing it. I'm like, oh, I was just thinking of something real good, and it popped in my mind. So maybe like a couple weeks ago, I was thinking about like why I love certain people in my life, right? And I'm like, oh, I love them, they do this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing positive aspects without even realizing it. So you just move into more of a loving nature, like your truth. And it's just, it flows so naturally to you now. I'll tell you right now, E.T., I am an herbal essence girl. It's my favorite shampoo and conditioner. It makes my hair full, and I mostly love it because of the smell. I love the smell of herbal essence. It's the only thing that I smell for days in my hair. Like anything else just doesn't last. It just fades. But herbal essence, I always get compliments. They're like, oh my God, your hair smells so good. So I am like so like in love with herbal essence. Occasionally, like I talk about this all the time, like my daughter, she likes all that like natural stuff, and I just don't like the smells. Like whenever I would use her stuff, I just feel like there's no smell to it. I'm all about like, I want to smell good. I want my hair to smell good. How can let thought past and not obsess over them? By focusing on yourself, Jonah. Focus on yourself. If you're obsessing over anybody, you got to be focusing on yourself more. Think about that. Think about that. Like, oh, wait a minute. I'm literally in a attached energy right now. Well, how do I get out of that? Focus on yourself, feeling good on your own, right? Because everything's a reflection of you anyway. It's all you. So you got to bring that energy back to you. And say to yourself, what can I do to feel good now on my own? And you got to practice that for a little bit. Honestly, you do. So you got to keep redirecting your focus back to yourself over and over and over again. And that's how you'll get out of that, right? The best version of that's done. And you can't be focused on it. You can't be doing things to get it. That keeps you focused on it, right? Do you get the pattern here? Get your attention and focus back to you. And feeling good on your own, and what you can control in this moment, what you've already created. Get yourself back to your current reality, right? You got to get yourself back to that. Same thing. So anything that pops, you got to keep, so Jonah, you got to stick with this practice. You got to be living your everyday normal life. And when those thoughts pop up, you just got to relax your body. That's it. You got to remember, Jonah, that the thought itself has zero power. It's just a thought. That's all it is. You give it power. So you give thoughts power. Thoughts have no power till you give them power. You give them power by getting upset, by getting anxious and nervous, and oh my God, why is this happening? So all you can do, Jonah, and everybody, in the beginning is relax your body. That's all you can do. Now, relaxing your body is actually enough. It's moving you out of it. But you're like not convinced yet. And you're still giving into fear at first, right? So, Jonah, you got to keep applying this practice. I can't stress this enough. It's one practice. You got to stick with it. So, remember, you're living your everyday normal life, guys. Everything you want's done in the best way possible, right? Because every possible reality exists, right? So you're too limited to even know how amazing it could be for yourself. So you're just living your everyday normal life, making the best of where you're at. Whenever you don't feel good, like Jonah says, this negative thought pops up, guess what? In this moment, I get to do my practice. I get to do this one practice. I get to get good at this one practice, which is just relax my body. That's it. That's all. That's the practice. Like, literally, but you got to keep applying it. That's the trick. If there's any trick to it, it's like, oh wait, I got to keep doing this? Yes. Over and over and over again. And you start to see that nothing can hurt you. You're indestructible. It's just a thought. And it's just got your attention at first because it's dominant. And the more you relax your body, it doesn't get your attention anymore as much. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Even just relaxing alone is moving you towards best and better. So your whole life starts to get better with this practice, right? So just do these relaxing practices. Do a lot of relaxing. Guys, you're indestructible. Take time to relax. Like, you got to move out of a lot of these old things. They're just stories that got created because of your beliefs. So they'll be fine. Everything's fine. You don't got to worry about anything or anyone. You're just having a human experience. I know. I used to talk about this a lot, and like, it's hard to grasp that the only way any of this can even exist is through you, right? It's coming from you and your beliefs. It's all fine. Everything's safe. Everything's okay. And there's no problem here. Always go back to my old lives. That's a good message before I get off here. If you're new to this, go back. I talk about this a lot on my old lives, about how there's no problem going on. There's nothing you need to worry about. Everything's going according to plan. So even though I am going to put this live on YouTube, and I want to go back to the old lives. If you're new and you're getting this for the first time and you're like, I'm so lost, go back to my old lives. They're very repetitive, and they will explain to you how you don't got to worry about anything. Everything's okay. Everybody's okay. Just keep doing these practices. Everything will take care of itself, okay? You're literally indestructible. Oh, of course, Alex. Does anyone have any, like, last-minute questions? Thank you, Zor. So you don't get it. You don't have, like, God. It's you. You're pure positive energy. We're all aspects of that, right? Of that source, of that love. That's all it is. It's just, God is a word. It's just a word that got created in our experience. So it's ET. It's mostly just knowing, and this is in my older lives as well, is that nothing has meaning here. It has no meaning. Your spirit, you are pure positive energy. You're down here having a human experience, and there's a lot of meanings in this experience, right? So the more you move towards your truth, which feels good, you start to drop down all the meanings that really don't serve us or you, to move towards best and better, right? So when you start getting into God and all these, they're just more labels and words, and I'm not saying it's all wrong. There's some really great stuff in that, in religions, but a lot of it's limiting still. So just know that you're good at your core, and you're here to have an amazing experience, and you will keep moving towards that and drop all the stuff that kind of confuses you a little. Like, well, what about God? And what about this? And what about, right? You'll start to eliminate all of that. How do I motivate myself to stay consistent with these practices? I wouldn't motivate myself to really do anything. I think you're doing way better than you realize, CC. And I think that we forget that it's just a simple reminder. CC says, how do I motivate myself to stay consistent with these practices? I think it's the simple reminder that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because I used to say all the time, like, what am I missing? And I always got, you're not missing anything. You're actually doing amazing. And I think sometimes, and CC, you've been following me for a long time, girl, and I think you don't give yourself enough credit. So I think you got to stop sometimes and say, you know what? I'm doing a pretty darn good job. Right? I'm doing pretty good. Like, you come out with some of the most inspiring things on here that help people. And it's very authentic. And I think I myself did the same thing. And I think I still do the same thing. Is we don't stop and say, you know what? I've come pretty darn far. Right? So I think it's just a simple reminder, CC. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And everything's going according to plan. There's nothing more I need to really do. There's no secret to this. It's just keep making the best of where you're at and only controlling what you can control, right? And from there, everything just starts to get better. But I think that you're doing way better than you realize. We should be. And I used to have to remind myself that a lot. So just so you guys know, if there's one thing, one affirmation that I had to say over and over again was, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I used to say one thing, and this is the truth. One thing that'll never change is that. That's one thing. Is that, wait, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And everything's going according to plan. You just get more aware of what's going on. Like last week, I know more today than I did last week. I mean, like literally, like there's always a new ha-ha moment that's popping up. Always. So trust me, I know you're doing a good job because I know what you say on here, and I know how, like, I can see the difference in you guys. If you can't see it, I can see it, okay? So, and even myself, trust me, I know that I don't give myself enough credit. I know that I don't stop and say, girl, look how far. It's like we're always trying, still in some way, we're still like, oh, let me get to the next thing, or let me do the next thing. And sometimes we just got to stop and be like, you know what? I'm pretty awesome, and I'm doing a pretty good job. All right, I'm going to jump off, guys. Hey, you know what? You're being honest, and that's all that matters. But I think you are still doing better than you realize, truthfully and honestly. Because, oh, and that's another, you know what, Cece, I'm so glad you said that. Guess what? There's no rush. I remember Bashar saying that, and I used to need to hear that too. There's no rush, because you're going to get it. Everybody's going to get it eventually. So, like, why are we in such a rush? You're going to get it. And guess what? I got it. And I used to feel that way too. Like, there's no rush to any of this. You're indestructible. You're going to get it. Everybody's going to get it. That's why there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing you need to be concerned about. Because eventually, as a collective, having this experience, everybody's going to get it. That's only going to be that's all the energy that's going to be in this experience. So all that other stuff's just going to fade. So just look at it that way. Is you're going to get it. I don't like to say compare yourself, but guys, you know a lot more than a lot of other people. So just be grateful for that. Be grateful that I know this, and I know a lot more than some. And you being that energy is enough. All right, guys. Hi, Christine. I don't know if I've seen you. Kira, can you just explain quickly what it means that we're indestructible? Well, nothing can hurt you, is what I mean, Talia. You're indestructible. Like, it's basically knowing that you never die. And like I said, these are some deeper concepts that seem like there's nothing to fear, Talia, because you're indestructible. You never die. Like, your spirit always lives on. Like, basically, you're just here having a fun human experience. And you're just now becoming aware of that you're having a human experience, okay? And now we're all waking up, not all, but most are waking up to the fact that this is a fun human experience, and I create my own reality. And basically, there's no rush. Like, you're going to get it. So if you keep feeling like things are like, oh my God, I'm not getting it, I'm still getting what I don't want, or I'm not getting this, well, you got to understand, wait, there's no rush to any of this. I'm indestructible. I'm going to get it eventually, and I don't die anyway. So basically, when you leave this human experience, you go back to love. You go back to pure positive energy. That's all. And you'll go, and you'll laugh. You'll laugh. You'll be like, oh my God, I was taking that all way too damn serious. So basically what I mean is lighten up. That's what Bashar says too. I think he says that. Lighten up, relax, chill. Everybody, you are going to get this, okay? Oh, I love that, Ashley. I love that. All right, I know. I put a lot in there, didn't I? Like, I never know how to, like, explain it just to the point. Like, I always got to put everything in there. But yeah, it's all for fun. It's all for fun. So you're going to get it. Yes, Matt Giza. Hi, Brenda. Thanks, Brenda. We really are energy that never dies. Yes, Christine. It's all just energy. And that's what you get. Like, it clicks. You start to like sit with these concepts more. So that's what I would do. I would sit with these concepts and I'd be like, I used to get the craziest like haha moments. I'd wake up in the middle of the night like, wow, nothing has meaning. Like, and I would get like, it's all just energy. And okay, so before I get off, I could talk about this stuff all day. So let's talk about, I'm gonna end it with this, but so we're all just energy, right? We're pure positive love, good at our core, and it's all just energetics, right? So the energy that never dies of love. But when you come down here, it is more dense, but that's what gives you the human experience. So what happened is we got lost in negative meanings. And we attached them to our energy. And we started to believe and buy into the fact that life is hard. And you got to work hard. And I got to earn my right to be here. And we lost who we truly are. Right? So that's a really good explanation, is that you are just light, love, pure positive energy at your core. But this human experience was supposed to be fun. And we all got lost in these negative meanings, right? But you need the density to be human, to touch, to grab, to hold things, right? To drink, to swallow. Like, you need that density. But you don't need I gotta work hard, right? Oh, I'm gonna gain 1 million pounds if I eat this food. Oh man, if I don't work out, I'm the worst person ever. Oh, I gotta, there's just so many, I can't even think of them. But think of anything that doesn't feel good and smash it. It's a program, right? I gotta do these techniques to get what I want. That's another one, right? So it's like, we've added all this stuff to like, just knowing we're here having a human experience. We've created such amazing things in this experience to choose from, and we're still thinking that we can't choose, that we gotta like prove ourselves and prove our value and our worth, and we're not enough just as we are, just as being me, and just saying hi to people and saying how are you today, and just living this life, and just that's enough for me to live an amazing life. But no, it's like we have all these beliefs that really tell us otherwise. So hopefully that was a little bit of a good explanation. Oh, thanks, Christopher. My fingernails. I know. I was saying how I say I'm going to be all natural. I'm not putting the nails on. I'm not even painting them. And then I see one girl with nails, and she's just like talking with her nails, and I'm like, gotta go get nails. Going out right now, getting the nails. Swimming last night, appreciating having a physical form to enjoy. Oh, I love that, Christine. Christine always says like stuff that brings tears to my eyes every time. She said, I was swimming last night, appreciating having a physical form to enjoy it. Thanks to your, just seriously though, right? Like, it's like, I mean, it sounds so silly, but I started to be like, I'm thankful my dog's barking. I'm thankful that I'm here and I get to even hear that. Like, my dog barking, like it like, 'cause normally that would drive me crazy, right? But I'm like, no, I can flip this right now. You know what? I'm so thankful that I even get to listen to that sound of my dogs, and I get to have them with me, and they're protecting me, right? Like, they bark at people because they're protecting me and they love me, right? And like, just being able to like make things work in my favor all the time. All right, guys, let me jump off before I have no voice. And remember that. So I know I want to answer all your questions. So can you explain how to apply this with financial situation? I'm a single mom trying to change it. Yeah. So don't get lost in that. Like, I'm a single mom, this isn't fair. Don't get lost in that, because that will keep you there. So you got to work with where you're at. That's key to this. You can move out of it really quickly if you have to be okay with where you're at, right? So it's controlling what you can control, knowing you're moving towards best and better. So basically, you got to work with where you're at, right? If you gotta be what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the word. Like, strict with your spending, and like, because it's about making what you have work. That's my practice. My practice is like, okay, I might be in this house that's not perfect, but I'm going to make it beautiful to the best of my ability with what I have. So you got to work with the money you have, knowing you're moving towards more, because it's about being able, because the feeling of being able to control things now is what actually moves you to what you want. Your life starts to run more smooth. And focus on like, okay, you know what? I get to make a great meal for less for my kids. And it's fun and they love it and they appreciate it, right? So it's like you got to be more playful with it and have more fun with it. And that's what's going to move you towards best and better. Just don't worry about how it's going to come and how it's going to manifest, user, because that trips us up. When that happens, just relax your body. Go back to my practice of just like relax your body. Focus on the discomfort that it's giving you. If you're getting anxiety where you're like panicking, and just allow that moment to pass. Say, nope, I have control over, maybe speaking to, if someone's saying, you got to pay me. You got to be like, I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I can. It's all about sending out that good energy in those moments, and it'll keep better, will keep coming back to you, right? So it's actually a really simplistic practice, and your life will just continuously get better and better and better. Yes, because I talk about this a lot. It's so contradicting because you're trying to control too much. But if you just focused on what you could control, everything else would come from that energy. So like for me, it can get, and you gotta direct this towards everything in your life. Anything that pops up that isn't working for you anymore, that doesn't feel good to you. So wait, where do I have control in this situation? You know what? It might be, for now, it might be like watching what I eat, because that's where I am. Right? So you got to think in every area of your life, like where do I have control of it? And you'll keep moving out of the beliefs and the programming that really isn't working for you anymore. You get to move out of things if you want to. Like I talk about this a lot with food, because I chose to break down my food beliefs. I don't tell anyone they have to do that. Like if eating salad works for you, eat the salad. For me, I was like, no, I'm not eating the salad and living my life eating salad. Like I want to eat whatever I want. So I had to really break down those beliefs, because I had a lot of crappy beliefs around food. Like I just thought I got fat from eating everything. So I had to really quiet that down. There was a lot of resistance in there, but I broke them down. Okay. So you don't have to do it that way. It might work for you. It might be easier to just eat healthier. You got to remember, nothing has meaning. So it's up to you if you want to investigate and dive a little deeper into some of those beliefs that you have, right? But all right, let me end that here, because I could talk about this stuff for days, but it's not like I won't be back, right? You don't have to work through trauma. There's no working through trauma. How to heal my eyes to see better. All this is like, there's no blocks. There's no trauma. There's no nothing. It's more so about understanding that you got to think forward movement. Healing trauma is thinking you got to do something again, right? So it's more about everything. Okay. So there only is the present moment, and we all have access to the same unlimited, amazing possibilities. Okay. So you got to think forward movement. So basically anything that pops up in this moment that doesn't feel good, you can't place meaning on it. So we're so quick to say, oh, that was probably from when I was 5. Well, that doesn't even exist anymore, because there's only this moment. So you got to think forward movement and moving towards best and better. So you got to make it more about feeling. Don't be labeling, I have trauma, I have blocks, I got to heal this, you got to make it more about the feeling. Okay, this doesn't feel good. You got to quiet that down. You got to relax your body. My doggy's licking me. I got to get her home. She's like, Mom, I want to go home. Yeah, make it about that. Did you know Mel was here? I know. I thought about Christine. When I did the live the other day, I thought about Christine. I'm like, oh, I don't know if Christine's here. Mel's here. I got to bring her with me, because she cries the whole time I'm gone. And I feel bad for my daughter. Like I said, she don't care. She's not mad. But I know it annoys her, because when she cries, she cries. All right. So just know that you don't want to get into that. There's still meanings that make this more difficult. Like I got to heal my trauma. It's all resistance. That's all it is. It's one energy. related to everything that's not working, right? So you want to simplify it, right? Just know you're moving towards best and better when you stick to these practices. And I will post this live. If you missed the beginning of it, I talked a lot about it, guys. I will post this live on YouTube, but it takes a couple days. So these lives don't go up right away. Like, first TikTok doesn't let me do it right away. So it takes a couple days, and then I got to get it onto YouTube. So just be patient waiting for it to go onto YouTube, but it will be on YouTube, I promise you. I might post a few clips from it here and there if I see anything that I like, but otherwise you will get the whole thing. Yeah, Mel is a baby. She's always a baby. I always say she's 4, but I think she's 5. And she's our baby. She's our baby at home. Like, she does the cutest things. Like, she's laying on her back and like she covers her eyes. And if Steve gets attention, she lays on the floor and tries to be all extra. Like, look at me, I'm cute too. Like, me and my daughter say, like, she's smart. She knows what's going on. She knows what's going on. All right, guys, I know I won't get off if I don't nail it. Wasn't she? I think she's getting used to it too, Miranda. So she cried a little bit. I know that she would rather be here than home. So that's what I kept thinking. I'm like, the drive to go get my drink with her is a little bit stressful. I have to keep relaxing because she's like crying. But I know in the end that it's better for her to be here than not, because if I'm here thinking about her crying and then I feel bad if my like daughter's doing something, or like, you know, maybe she's sleeping, you know, she's a teenager, right? And like then Mel starts crying and then 4:44 on the clock. It feels better to bring her for me in the long run. So that's one of those things where like, should I not take her? Should I take her? In the long run, it's better to take her. All right, guys, let me get out of here. This was such a good live. Thank you so much for jumping on, guys. And I'll definitely do this again, where I try to like let you guys know ahead of time. Like, I will be live later. Maybe I'll be able to start setting times. I'm just so not good at timings things because I don't know. It just, honestly, it gives me resistance. That's the truth. When I know there's like a set time, I'm like, all right, I got to get there. I got to get my drink. I got to, you know, like, what if, like, I get in my headspace about it. So maybe in the future, I'll be able to do that. All right, guys, everybody have a great rest of the day. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later. I don't know why I'm so extra waving. Bye, guys.